Well, hello, this is Rosa, rcgkreations. How are you doing? We're bringing you today how to, when you have an abundance of produce, either that you purchased or you grew yourself, or you just went to a farmer's market, same thing as purchasing. And you have too much, you want to save some of that so it doesn't spoil before you get to use it. We're going to freeze these are little silicone, little cubes, they're silicone. And I got me different sets. But I got the little small ones because I love me some green onions. But my garden is doing very, very well with kale and my bunches of green onions, but I got too much, more than I do. So I'm going to be making freezing ice cube trays of herbs with oil and some herbs with water. Okay, so this little batch here is going to be my green onions. So here's my little empty tray. You want to fill it about 1/3 full because it will expand, especially when you add your oil in there, okay? I don't think I'm going to have enough for all of that. Okay, so I got all of these trays filled. Whoops, I just spilled, something fell. A piece of herb or something, but that's okay. And this particular batch, because I plan on using this when I do my eggs for breakfast. Or if I'm making like breakfast burritos, anything that I'm using eggs with, that's what these are going to be for. That's my intention, but you can use it on anything. Pop it in a stew, pop it in some soup, pop it in your skillet, pop it when you're baking something. Just pop the entire cube, frozen cube in there, and it'll dissolve because I'm making this batch with olive oil. So, you know what, I have a little too much. It's not worth it for me to have an extra one here because I don't have enough. I'm just going to fill some of these little trays a little bit more than, they're still not up to 1/3 of the spacing. So, but there's not enough for this. I'm going to save this for something else. So this is going to be my olive oil with my green onions. Then you just want to pour your oil. Be careful so you don't have too much of a spill. Don't fill all the way to the very top. You want to leave a space because it's going to have overflow from the expansion of freezing. Okay. I could take the top off of this to make it go a little bit faster, but because these are such small little squares, I don't want to go that far. Okay. And remember, try to do this with fresh herbs. Okay. Now you hear that noise? I have my dehydrator going. That's for I'm dehydrating some kale. I only like my kale, and this is just me, personal use, in salads, or I make it into kale powder. And I use the kale powder and I add it to my ingredients. Like say I'm making a meatloaf, I'll put some kale powder in there. I'm making hamburgers, I'll put some kale powder in there. I basically only do it when I'm doing ground beef. Or if you're doing ground turkey, or if you're doing ground chicken, that's a good time to do it. Because I like to get it mixed up, and I don't do a whole lot because it will turn everything green. Okay, so as you can see, I'm just pouring the oil, and then I'm going to flash freeze this. And then I'll take them out of the cubes, and then I'll label my freezer safe container baggie. And this will be olive oil, onion chives. That's what this is. These are onion chives. I'm using the whole onion, the green stem and the white part of the green onion. Because boy, I wish we had smell-o-vision. I love onions. Hubby doesn't, but I do. And it smells really good. Then I have a patch of Cuban oregano, which is like a mint. It's more of a mint, but it's called Cuban oregano. Mexican mint is another terminology people use. Okay, this one needs a little bit more oil. That one needs a little bit more oil. I'm just about done with this, and I personally like to get the ones that have a lid to them because I don't want whatever's in the freezer to the odor to come from something else that's in the freezer and smell, because your food that's frozen does travel, and so one odor, especially if it's stronger than another odor, can absorb the stronger odor. I'm being lazy now and I'm just moving it instead of moving over, but that's okay. I'm good to go, because guess what? This is my kitchen and I get to do what I want. I know that saying. My husband goes, "You don't have to continue saying that all the time." I go, "Yeah, I do. It is my kitchen. It's my kitchen and I'm making it and I'm doing what I want." So I'm going to put my lid on here. And I'll know because of the smell that this is chives. But I want to put a little label. Where did I know I had some paper here. Okay, I'll do that in a minute. I don't want to keep you too much longer. Oh. So I'm going to put that over to the side. Because this is silicone, I want this to, it's easier to transport because silicone's kind of flimsy. Okay. So now I've got my other little bitty one here. And here's my Cuban oregano. I actually picked this yesterday. I was supposed to do it yesterday. I like to pick it fresh, but I just ran out of time. My life got in the way, and it was like, oh my goodness. Other stuff that I had to do. So, oh man, this smells so good. Every time you cut into a stem, the aroma is fantastic. This is just, here's what I'm going to do. This is basil, but I dehydrated it. And you can do the same thing with dehydrated, okay? So I'm just going to take the basil leaves off the stem. I'm not going to crumble it or nothing. I'm just going to kind of squeeze it in there. I had it exposed with my kale, so I got a little bit moist, but that's okay because I'm going to put it in water. So I'm going to go with that. So this one is basil. And thank goodness I'm video recording this, because if I forget what's what, I'll just go to the video and say, what is what? That's the one good thing. So even if you don't have a YouTube channel, get in the habit of recording it. Just use your cell phone and record it so you know what's what and where you put what. Okay. So I'm just using the basil leaves. I don't want any stem because I'm just going to pop the frozen ice cube into my pot of whatever it is that I'm doing. And that's trash. Oh man, that basil is fantastic. Nothing better than fresh basil. So if you're going to be making some pasta sauce, spaghetti sauce, get yourself some fresh basil. You'll notice the flavor difference instantly. Nothing beats fresher basil. Nothing beats fresh. Let's just put it to you that way. That's all I'm going to say. And I just have a small little batch. I got this morning when I was out in the garden. I had to water. We're in Houston, Texas. So I have to water every day because I'm using grow bags. I'm not doing in the ground. And so far, I don't have a water filtration system. I need to find someone that can help put it in because hubby just doesn't physically can handle that. So right now it is what it is. So I have to tote my water from my rainwater bucket barrel with my water bucket, and that's how I get. And this is gonna be my scrap bag. My scrap. I don't have a composting machine or equipment or anything like that, so I'm not composting. I hope to by next summer to be able to have a composter, but I don't yet. So I'm going to do the same thing, olive oil. So this whole tray is going to be olive oil, but this is basil. And you see, because it's dehydrated, how it's floating to the top. But as soon as it soaks up the oil, it'll sink back down. And I won't put this in the freezer till I'm done with my basil. Okay? So this is I'm gonna bring it back because I'm not gonna have you sit there and just watch me do this. There's an awful lot of basil there. I'm just going to pause you, and then I'll bring you back. It'll be tomorrow because it's already 10:30. I gotta go to bed because I gotta get up at 6. I have to go to the office. I can't work from home tomorrow. And I gotta go to bed, so I'll do this tomorrow. So there's my basil. Push that in all the way. I don't want to get my finger too much in the oil. There we go. So this tray is now ready to go, and to be careful because you don't want to spill too much, okay? Because then you make a mess. So this is going to go into my freezer, freeze it, and I'm not even going to take it out until tomorrow. Normally you only have to freeze it for 1 to 2 hours. I would say easy 2 hours, freeze it, and then it should be totally ready. Then you pop them all, each little cube out of each little holder, label your freezer bag, and then put them in your freezer, and you're ready to go. And you need to pop something in there, you pop it out. You can use 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. That's why I like the little bitty sizes, because 2 of these, actually 1 of these, will be more than enough for my breakfast when I make my eggs. Or you can use as many as you want. It's totally up to you. So I'm gonna go ahead and start chopping up these this cube and oregano, and then put them in my little cubes. I went ahead and got these. Oh, there's my alarm. It's time for me to go to bed. So I'm gonna come back and see you later. No, actually, no, I'm not gonna do that. It's like it's time to my alarm. When my alarm says it's time to go to bed, I gotta go to bed. I got my little pumpkin seed, my little melon seed. I was harvesting melon seed, cantaloupe seeds. Okay, so let's put that over there. I've got some what was it? Avocado oil. I'm gonna try some avocado oil. And you see how flimsy these are? Do yourself a huge favor. Just put it on a cookie sheet. That's all you got to do. So now I don't want to use the stem. This is just me. I don't do the stem. Now, if you did it this way and you cut it, just like I did here, put this on your dehydrator and you can dehydrate the whole thing. If you put it on there with your stem, it's going to take you 3 times as long because the stem is so thick for it to dry. So you can dry this, turn it into powder, or crumble it, or just, I like to leave it whole, this entire piece where it's totally frozen, like that other piece I had those pieces of the basil, and leave them whole. And then when I get ready, I put them all into I usually use a 1 quart wide mouth mason jar. Then I take out what I need, and then I crumble it in my hand, and then just opens up the aroma, which is fantastic. So I'm going to leave these all whole just like that. And I'm pretty sure I can just do 1 because these are big. I'm just going to fold them up a little bit. This is my scrap pile. So whatever I get is whatever I get. Put 1 in each one, and I'm going to use this with my avocado oil. See that? And this is a nice little item because you can open. Oop, sorry. I got some cleaning to do. You can push this down and it's a sprayer, or you can open that up and then that pours. So I was like, man, now I got more mess to clean up. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and do all this, and I'll bring you back tomorrow when we do show you the reveal of it coming out of the little trays. These are just little muffin trays, is all the silicone muffin trays is all these are. So we'll bring you back. Okay, we're back. It's actually been a few days later. Life just gets in the way. I already opened up one of these. You have to, when you take them out, leave them out here for about a good 2 to 3 minutes. You want them to thaw just a little bit. Even though they're silicone, you still want them to thaw. So I already got one in the freezer. And because this is oily, you definitely want to put it on the same cookie sheet so you don't have a big mess on your table. Okay, I've got my little freezer bags right here. And then, because they're silicone, you just push from the bottom and it releases. I got no grip. I got no muscle. I have my little phone here where I wrote down what each, typed up what each item, each tray had, so I wouldn't, because I knew I would forget. Okay, come on. I got me a paper towel because this is, of course, it's oil, so it's a messy job. Make sure your hands are clean. Make sure your table is clean. You see how much easier this is doing it this way with silicone molds versus your ice cube trays? You can do it in the ice cube trays, but you're going to struggle to get them out. Ask me how I know that. I'm just wiping them up because I don't want to get a bunch of oil on the outside of my bag. Whoops. Well, my bags are labeled, so I can turn. I don't need my reminder no more. See my little reminder? So it tells you how to do it. I was supposed to do this Thursday, and this is Saturday. I was like, ooh. But that's okay. I'm going to save this. That way I'll know when these were preserved. I didn't put it on the bag. I don't. Sometimes stuff like this doesn't last long in our house, so I don't put stuff like that in bags. I don't date it. But you should, if you think you're going to be longer or you're going to make a bigger batch. You should label that. And I'll do a pop-up of telling you, I believe it's 3 to 6 months, the time frame that it'll stay good. I mean, I'm sure you can probably get away with it for a whole year. But I plan on using these like right away with almost all of our cooking meals. And you want to hurry up, put these in the bag, and wipe your hands. Wipe the edges just in case something happened. Get all the excess air out of the bag. And now you're ready to roll. Pop them up, make it loose, because you don't want them to freeze again. I mean, it's easy to pop right up if a couple of them stick to each other, but lay it flat. It's also less storage space in your freezer. Okay, and so now to the big ones. And of course, I already labeled my bag. Now, the basil ones are the ones that are going to be good for any, like, pasta sauces, red sauces. You can use it for anything that you're going to use Cuban oregano with, which is great with pasta sauces, red pasta sauces. I looked for a bunch of recipes, and there's not a whole lot of recipes for Cuban oregano, because Cuban oregano is like a mint. Now, if you're going to do, now be careful, see how that oil is all dripping from where it's had time where it sat. And, okay, I just want to make sure I'm in frame. Yeah, I'm in frame. This is why you want to make sure you have a clean surface where you're working at. Okay. And I'm just going to leave those popped up because that's going to be good washing under hot water. But look at all this mess. See the oil all over the place? And I'm only wiping my hand. That's why I'm using a paper towel versus a washcloth. Because I'm wanting to take off the excess oil off my hands. Now I'm just going to pop them in the bag. And look at that. See how I overfilled it? But I wanted a lot of basil in there. Whoops, it's dripping. You have to work fast when you're doing these ice cubes. But this is a great way to add additional flavor to any sauteed recipes, frying skillet recipes, cast iron recipes. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, so that part's done. There's not much air in there. And we are done. Okay, I'll bring you back in the recap when I do all three of them at the same time. We'll be right back, but my hands are kind of yucky. I gotta wipe them down. Okay, we are back. Here's our final one. Here we have almond oil, olive and chives, olive oil and chives, olive oil and basil. And this is my take on making your own herbs frozen with oil of your choice for future use. Thank you so much for watching. Catch you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.